All right, man. We back again.
There we go.
Season 5. I told y'all we was gonna have some big time guests on this season, man. And when I tell y'all I'm gonna do something, I don't do it all the time. But I tell you, when I tell you this part, I had to get this one done, man. First and foremost, man, I want y'all to know who we got in the building.
Yeah.
World renowned.
Yeah.
I mean, world class basketball player, man. I'm talking about came straight from the bottom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's somebody that I watched from afar really dedicate himself to getting to the next step. And he ain't done nothing but impress everybody that's been on this journey, but nobody's surprised.
That part, yeah.
So I ain't gonna talk your head off too much, man. I want to introduce my man Stanton Kidd.
My man.
Hey, man, appreciate you coming through, dog.
Oh, man, I'm glad to be here, bro. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, I'm sitting here right now. I can't stop smiling, yo. Because I'm super, like I can tell, man, I'm not the type of person that I can't tell you, you know what I'm saying, how great you are, you feel me? Even though we in the same field, we play competitively.
Yeah.
And I tell all y'all, every time I see y'all, man, keep it up, man. Because y'all really are an inspiration to everybody, young and old. So,
for sure.
man,
For sure.
keep it up, man.
For sure, man. I appreciate it, bro. I mean, that's what it's all about, honestly, bro. It's just, doing what I can do to inspire others, and then, hopefully inspire somebody that's behind me that's gonna come up and do the same thing for other people too, bro. That's my goal. You know what I mean? Might not be giving them items or little shit that they think that's cool, but if I get a knowledge of the game to the next person, they can branch off and do it for somebody else and just keep this thing going. That's all I'm happy for.
Man, that's all it's about, man. It's all about pushing the game forward, right?
That's all it's about, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I mean, kind of speaking on that to start, man, I want you to kind of talk about where you're from, and I'm going to segue from what you just said on that. So can you just talk about where you was born and raised at?
Man, born and raised Edmondson Village, West Baltimore.
Hold on. You said West Baltimore.
Yeah.
All right, bad. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, West Baltimore, West Baltimore. Man, Edmondson Village raised me, man. Folks came two-parent household, man. Hardworking family. Got 2 brothers, 1 sister. I'm the baby, I'm the youngest. But yeah, man, I mean, it takes a village, and that's real. You know what I mean? I got people, not just me, you know what I mean? But not just my folks, just people around that grew up with me and that helped me and kind of helped me and kept me on that right path. You know what I mean? That's from friends that I grew up with, friends' parents, neighbors, whatever you call it. You know what I mean? It just was that's how tight it was growing up in the area. You know what I mean? So.
And I watched, I just told you before, I watched the documentary of yours from your early days and when you was in college.
Yeah.
And you were kind of walking around the neighborhood, kind of just, you know what I'm saying, venturing out, talking to old neighbors, being at one with the community, going to the basketball court, things like that.
Yeah.
Can you kind of describe the atmosphere in Edmondson Village at that time when you were just kind of a kid and what you were doing walking around early in the game?
Fun, man, fun. We were outside, bro. It was a point in time where I was going out, being outside, like when I was old enough, whatever, to go play sports, do whatever, hang with homeboys, have fun, just kicking it, you know what I mean? From 10 o'clock until the street lights came on, you know what I mean? You had to be close to where my mom could see me. She would not make me come in the house if she knew I was somewhere safe, you know what I mean? Like now, no corner, nothing like that, but if I was at a homeboy house or we was on the front porch, we was in the back shooting hoops or whatever, if I was at a basketball court, as long as the street lights on, she knew exactly where I was at, she was good, but like, that was my cue to kind of get close to the house when the street lights came on. That was her little thing, you know what I mean? She ain't never embarrassed me, like, you gotta come in the house. No, definitely in the summertime, she loved us to be outside, because when I'm outside, I know now, because I'm grown, when I'm outside, I mean, they got the house to themselves, so they can do the work they need to do and whatever they need to do, and I'm not overtopping them, breathing overtopping them, you know what I mean? So that was one of the things, bro. I mean, I feel like the village just stuck together. And the village is separated in different parts. You got up top, you got down bottom, and you got on the left side, the right side. So, I mean, I feel like everybody just kind of stuck together. Everybody had their own different sections, but we kind of stuck together when it came to playing football or basketball, whatever it was, you know what I mean? So we had multiple courts that we could hoop at, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it just was like a big community. It was unity, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, being from Anne Arundel County, I've been in Edmondson Village at this point in my life, but I hadn't at that point.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody around the country knows that you have to deal with a certain element of, I would say, accelerated atmosphere, whether it's violence or drug dealing, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Being that was around during that time, was it your mother, father, and I know you have brothers, do you have a sister as well?
Yeah.
So you got brothers and sisters. Were they kind of the big proponent of keeping you out of that, or was it more or less like an environmental thing where, because in certain times in those environments, even that early when they can kind of foresee something like you might not be in the way or whatever the case may be, they'll kind of take you out of it too.
Yeah.
But was it your parents or brothers and sisters that kind of kept you away from that early?
So the crazy funny story is, I got my sister. We don't have the same. We don't have the same mom, but my father told us not to ever call each other step brothers.
Right.
We call brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
We got the same blood running through us, but we still got the same mom.
Absolutely.
And then the same with my other brother Chapman. My sister's name is Jessica. One of my brother's name is Chapman, and I got an older brother named Tommy. That we get on the line to him.
Mm-hmm.
My brother Chapman grew up in the household with me. That's my mother's son, but you know what I mean. My mother, same thing. My mother, that's not your stepbrother, that's your brother.
Exactly.
That's my mother's son. So me and him grew up in the same household. My sister didn't grow up with me. Then I got my oldest brother, Stanley Jr. Tommy. He grew up with his mom. You know what I mean. But he's from Strickland Stroder, so he in the pit of the heart of West Baltimore. Mm-hmm. So he was kind of away from us just because of the environment that he grew up in. But you know, he still was a big brother. Yeah, a lot of gang came from him. You know, from my brother Chapman and my brother Tommy, a lot of the outside shit, the street knowledge and all that shit, just what to look out for, what not to be around, and no, don't go this path, do this, that, right, and third, you know what I mean? That came from them. Then my sister was like I was the baby, but she was the baby of the family too. You know what I mean? It's the crazy thing is I just got finished having lunch with her, you know what I mean? So, you know, she's super, super duper entrepreneur, got her own business, just opened up beauty suites and stuff like that. So she was they grew up with me, but I kind of grew up alone, in my sense, because it's 8 years of difference between us, you know what I mean? So with them being in high school and early on to me, they was already doing their thing. You know, my brother Tommy, he 13, 14 years older than me, 15 years older than me. So, you know what I mean, he off doing his own thing, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it was kind of like I grew up with friends. So my friends became my relatives almost, like, you know what I mean? So growing up with my friends, things like that. But yeah, being around, man, you know, you see those things. You know, you see the drug dealing, you see your friends start taking the wrong path and stuff like that. But I mean, I feel like when you know, people always talk about it now, like, you know, stand on your 10 toes, stand on business, you know, being your own man. I feel like I got that early, you know what I mean? Because that just wasn't the lane I wanted to be in. Not that I was a chump or whatever, I just never looked at it like that, you know what I mean? I feel like I had another vision of like, all right, cool, I love this hoop shit, I love the sports shit, I'm gonna make something out of it, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna just turn to the streets because of the little things I saw. And I ain't never talking down on nobody, you gotta do what you gotta do,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I tip my hat to my friends that maybe took that lane and then realized that, yo, I'm better than this, and made a turn for the better, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's all love and respect, and I get a lot of respect from them, and you know, I get them respect, you know what I mean? So
for sure, man. I know it's kind of like an inseparable thing when you're coming up in the inner city, so I just wanted to know kind of, you know what I'm saying? And it's hard to navigate that. People will kind of look at it from the TV perspective and be like, oh, he's a diamond in the rough. No, it's life and death every day. You know what I'm saying? So, and you kind of recognize that early.
That's a fact.
Right.
That's a fact. Like, the guys that was in the streets, the older dudes that's right away that was doing that thing, like, they seen it, like, they seen something in me before I saw it. Nah, shorty, you can be one of the ones, and not more so like, yeah, you gonna get us out the hood. Nah, shorty, you can be one of the ones to get on and really get out. And boy, we can look back and say, yeah, I know shorty. Like, shorty used to come down here and hoop. I kept shorty out the way, like, I don't need nothing from you. I just want to say that I know you. And then when you come through and show love, you show love. And that was always been my thing, you know what I mean? So just to show love now, no stunting shit, no making the dude feel less than what he is. If I spin through the block and say what's up, I feel like it's an honor to me to say what's up, and I'm being accepted and embraced, you know what I mean? Because I stayed 10 toes, I ain't never really get Hollywood, you know what I mean? Like, when I made it to the league, I was still living with my mother, right. You feel me? So it's like, it's almost like they was able to touch me and see like, oh yeah, Shorty really did that, but he's still around, you know what I mean? And it's not that I was hanging on the corner, but they can ride past and see me, help my mother taking groceries in the house, coming out the house, washing the car, whatever it is, then peeling off and going to work out, coming back and forth and working out, you know what I mean? It's a gift and a curse, but at the end of the day, it's always love. I never had no problem with nobody really trying to, you know, get one up on me because I'm still not in the mix, but around the mix, you know what I mean? So it was love, though.
Circling back to that question I was asking before in the beginning when you was talking about pushing the game forward. Yeah. That's why I kind of got the upbringing part, because I noticed, and I'm gonna probably bring it up a couple times, but on the documentary, the few people that you talked about, I can't remember his name, Big Pop, next door neighbor in Troy, they would talk about how, you know what I'm saying, you always had the humble spirit. You was always a kid in the neighborhood that was running around happy, just playing ball and staying focused on that. So the idea of them kids seeing you at Edmondson Village and even neighborhoods that's around there, because the word travels, obviously. So guys that see that, you were able to show them that this is a legitimate way to work hard, focus on your craft, and get out of here. You feel what I'm saying? And it's not even get out of here to the point where as though you're leaving and never coming back. Yeah. Because like you said, you're still a pillar in the community. You're still tangible. Pause. Yeah. But still, you feel what I'm saying? But that's why I kind of wanted to get your upbringing, because I knew that part and that factor. So that's good. That's a good way to look at it.
I mean, it's just like life circle, man. So like, those are the gentlemen that I grew up under. Those are like my OGs. So like, a lot of people feel like your OGs got to be street guys, this, that, and the third. Regardless of what it is or not, I grew up with some real OGs that grew up in the village. That my father was their OG. So now they trickling down to me. So I hang with them. Those guys, Troy and Pop, in their mid 50s. You know what I mean? So I'm going on 32. So to hang with them and to be able to kick it with them, they've been grabbing me off the basketball court and taking me to lunch and introducing me to shit that I ain't even know existed. Like my first brunch at Ruth Chris was probably 2012. You know what I mean? Like I ain't even know we had a Harbor East. You know what I mean? That's crazy. That's crazy for me to say, because I'm in the neighborhood. Some of these kids, and I look at it, some of these kids don't even know what's outside of what's downtown. Like my first, like a real deal, my first brunch, I'm 2012. Yeah, I'm 18, 19 years old. I'm going to brunch with these guys. You know what I mean? And we in there chilling and kicking it. But Troy was my youth coach. I was playing at Rico back in the day, so he was my youth coach coming up in the clinic leagues, whatever. So I mean, it was always love. And then Pop across the street, Big Pop, he was just a neighbor of ours, but good friend of my mother's, good friend of my father's. And then his mom used to get her hair done by my mom. Right. So I used to water her plants, fix her garden, stuff like that. So she was one of the ones that if I was walking home from school and I ain't had my key, or if I was locked up the house, I'd go to their house and stay till my mother got off work. So it was type like that. So it was like I said, it was a big family. My whole block, everybody know me personally. Right. The ones that's still around, the ones that didn't pass on the glory, but they know me personally. You know what I mean? They know my folks personally. They knew my mother when she first moved into that house. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of just trickling down, you know what I mean? And now they see me grow up, it's just like they super proud.
Yeah, man, you was walking through, when you was walking through, you was talking to somebody that was 7 yards away, you just knew who it was. Yeah. Like, is that, what's the name back there? Yeah. Oh, no, all right, but I'm gonna see him at the court.
That's crazy,
But that was good to see, though, man. It's like you really have, I would say, I mean, the real respect and I can't even think of the word for it, but just the admiration of your community. Yeah. And that's not really too common a lot, like, you know what I mean, especially in a city like that.
Yeah, and that was a light day. Like, that was just, I think I was home I wasn't playing at the time. I was transferring, they got this portal now where you can go right and play. I had to sit out a year, so I think they went to the Mountain West tournament and lost, and spring break kicked off, so I stayed out there for like a week. I think spring break was like 2 weeks. I stayed there for like almost like 4 or 5 days. Then I was like, I'm gonna come home. So I came home, and that was around like March, maybe going into like April. So it wasn't a lot of people outside, but kids was outside, whatever. And my man just like, yo, let's just kind of like shoot a little documentary. Because I've been working on something, so I might as well just film you. I'm like, all right, bet. So we went to the gym, then we went, around my way, and then we went down the court. So a lot of those guys you're seeing, like, I grew up with. Right. You know what I mean? Like my man Pee Wee on there, I grew up with.
Oh, yo, he was funny.
Yeah,
I was crying.
Yeah, I grew up with yo, like, you feel me? Like, when he first moved, he from down McCullough home, so when he moved up to the village, he was one of the ones that we kind of connected. You know what I mean? Right off the bat, like my alley is diagonal, my house diagonal across from him in the alley, so he would see me hooping in the yard. He just pulled up, and it's just been love ever since. So we grew, and then we started branching off, and then now we started getting more friends, and then now we just kind of had like a little crew, little clique that we hung together, played football, basketball, and all that stuff, and just hung out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. So speaking of that, the introduction to sports, I know it came early for you. Yeah. So was it purely basketball? I mean, I know you spoke on it before, but was it purely basketball in the beginning, or was it you just try to take a crack at a little bit of everything?
No, I was straight hoop.
Straight hoop from the beginning. It was just all basketball.
Straight basketball. I mean, I started at Chippewa basketball. 5 years old, 6. So started there and then played ever since. I mean, I did dabble a little bit with football, a little bit of baseball, but basketball was kind of my thing. I think I'm playing more football just because my friends was playing. Right. So I'm just it wasn't nothing to do in the winter. Like I played travel ball in the winter, but it was to the point where in the summertime, that early part in the summertime, the AU tournaments, it wasn't popping. AU wasn't popping like how I was now. Where you got tournament every week. Like there's kids playing the tournaments every single time of the year. You know what I mean? So now it was like a dead period where you wasn't no AU, but you still was practicing and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm playing football. So I played football. I played Power One for a little while. my father just was like, man, he's like, I'm cool with you playing football because that's going to add the grit and the toughness, but he just was like, what you really love? Like, I love basketball. He's like, all right, well, we're going to lock in on that. And we started locking in on that. I played a little bit, then I stopped playing Pop Warner. He was like, if you're going to play football, we ain't playing no old life, you're going to play in high school. You know, a lot of dudes, you play 14, you be 15 playing 14, or 12, 14 or something like that in football back in the day. So I'm like, no, I'm playing high school. So played a little bit in high school, wasn't really crazy my thing. I was decent. I played pretty well, but I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, those hits started getting harder, pause, and I just wasn't on that. You know what I mean? I'm like, I ain't taking that beat, and I ain't doing that.
Ain't no need.
Yeah,
no need.
Yeah, I ain't taking no beat. I'm gonna put the ball in the hole. You feel me? So I'm just like, man, I'm going some hoop shit. You know what I mean? That's so cool, stay locked in. Yeah.
So early on, you were straight basketball. Who were some of your influences, whether it was professional or it was local? You know what I mean? Because some people's influences, you have older brothers, then the age gap is a little bit bigger. So you can kind of find influence through them, or you can find it from your imagination, what you see on TV. Did you have any early influences basketball-wise?
Yeah, you normally get the normal influences, like, what's on TV, your Brons, your Mikes, you see all these clips of them, but those like hands-on, like you pause, ain't hands-on, you can't really see that. You know what I mean? You see it on TV, you know what I mean? But as a kid, I say just around the city, just hearing different names. You hear the names of like the Rudy Gays and the Mellows and guys like that, the Mark Cultures, you know what I mean? I can name a bunch of lists, you know what I mean? Jack McClain, all these guys that's before me, as far as hoopers. You hear about these guys that's not too much older than me, but also playing in, high school, AAU, all this stuff, and you're like, okay, they setting the tone. But I think the guy that really got me going was just my father, just hearing how good he was as a player, you know what I mean, and hooping and stuff like that, how athletic he was, how he could jump, how he could shoot the ball. And then I had my older brother, Tommy. He could play too, but he just didn't get a chance to get his opportunity, you know what I mean? But he could hoop too, so it just was like, all right, cool, like, all right, I'm just gonna base my skill set off of that. I'm gonna just try to be better, measure myself against them and try to be better, you know what I mean? And when it came to actually knowing exactly what comes from the city and seeing, like, of course, I didn't know nothing about Dunbar. I didn't know about Muggsy. I didn't know nothing. Even though I played AAU, me and Naughty played together, that's his uncle, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know much about that until I got older and understood, like, okay, they came right from here. So now I started seeing different players. You know what I'm saying? I started seeing the old school players, the Skip Wise and all that stuff. So I'm like, damn, all right, cool. I'm going to put myself in one of those positions to be like one of them so somebody can talk about me when my time comes, you know what I mean? So I just kind of measured off that. Like, I didn't really run right to the NBA to be like, yeah, I want to be like Mike. And you probably said as a kid, yeah, I want to be like Mike. But nah, I want to be like the guys that came from here. You know what I mean? That I measure myself from that and then go on from there. You know what I mean? So
absolutely,
that's how it was. Yeah.
No, that's very important. I mean, it's very true. And that's why I always ask that, because it's not always the professionals. Yeah. Because to some people, when you're a child, it's like you always say when you're a child, like, I'm gonna go to the NBA, but it's like to some kids, it's like really not real.
Oh yeah.
It's like you'll see, like you said, in my city, it was like Marcus Neal. It was guys like that I'm looking at. He averaging 30 a game, or legit 30, and I'm like, I want to play like that. You know what I'm saying? Allen Iverson and all that. I definitely want to do that. But it's like the guys that you can literally go see is who you want to be. So that's very important that you say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in the hood dudes too, bro. Like just seeing the hood legends. You know what I mean? Like it's a bunch of dudes that was just like, damn, like, I'm nice as shit. Like, I'm trying to be like, yo, like, yeah, like you get your first experience of that. It's like, oh, damn, like that's cool. Like this dude from around my way, Shadow Kid. You know what I mean? I'm sure a lot of people see this. That's from my part of the village. They know exactly what I'm talking about. You're from Wildwood Apartments. And Yo was probably just like the nicest thing that I ever seen. He went to Edmondson too. You know what I mean? I feel like Yo was one of the greats up there that just didn't. Edmondson wasn't a basketball school. Right. You know what I mean? At one point, it was more so football. I mean, don't get me wrong, you had your guys that come through there that was nice. You know what I mean? That was buckets. But I feel like if my time kind of changed that a little bit, it became a basketball school. Now everybody want to go to Edmondson. Now they win the state championships and all that shit. And that's what the likes of the coaches that's up there now, down there, Terrell Dance and all them. You know what I mean? So with them being there, it kind of helped out. But the dude that was at Edmondson before all that, dude Shadow Kid, bro. Cold. Nasty. We call him Shadow Kid because he black as a motherfucker. Right. He get to it. Get to it, bro. Like you just was nasty. He was nice. He had the whole complete game. Can shoot, can dribble, can dunk, can score, lay up, mid game, post game, whatever. You know what I mean? So that was like the measuring too. Also, like I'm watching him play at the court. I'm waiting to get on next. Yeah, I want to be just as good as y'all, or I want to be better. You know what I mean? So that was the guy. Then once I got my opportunity to compete and to see that I'm okay, yeah, I can do that. I'm in 9th grade, but here in the 12th, yeah, I can do that. You know what I mean? That's what kind of made me feel like, all right, well, I'm sorry, 8th, because by the time I got to Emerson, he was gone. Right. 8th, 12th, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, you know what I mean? He was like that.
Hell
Yeah, he was like that.
There's a lot of stories like that, man.
Yeah.
Guys that didn't get that shot, but you
Yeah.
already know it's a problem if you catch them in the open
Yeah.
run, outside or whatever.
Yeah.
So you know what that is, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shadow Kid wherever you at, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're kind of like all the Shadow Kids out there.
Yeah.
Bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I went to school with his brother, Deshaun. I don't know why. I feel like when somebody out of sight, out of mind. I know Shadow Kid last name is Brooks. I don't know why I can't remember his first name, bro. And that's crazy. If you see this, he probably like, damn, bro, really?
Mm-hmm.
But it ain't like that. It's just I just know him as Shadow. Like when I seen him, Shadow Kid. But I went to school with his little brother Zon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So me and Zon, we just was tight. Zon was a hooper too, but more of a football player.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He did really well up there too. But shout out to both of them, man. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, now that was early age. Now you spoke about playing with Chick Webb early, 5 or 6.
5 or 6 years old started. Yeah.
So your introduction to AAU came really early, just travel basketball, or what is like deemed to be around this way is high level basketball at a very early age.
Yeah.
So did you just play with one team throughout that whole process until high school? Because I'm gonna talk up until high school right now. So you played with one team up until that point, or was you just kind of like moving around at the time?
I was with Chick Webb all the way up until probably about 10 or 11. So